What's up everyone, Clay here, and we all have that one controller that we just have to have in order to play our favorite game. And for you hardcore Smash players out there, that might be the GameCube controller, but if that's not your scene, you might look to some third parties for controller solutions. We all know about Hori and Power A being officially licensed by Nintendo for the Switch, but what if you're looking for something not so official? Well, 8BitDo has you covered in more ways than one. They offer a ton of solutions for different gaming styles, but today we're taking a look at their latest offering, the 8BitDo Lite. So, let's check it out. The 8BitDo Lite was released with the Switch Lite in mind because it comes in two different colors, the teal and the yellow, but if you bought that gray Switch Lite, sorry, you're absolutely out of luck here. Now, personally, I didn't get to compare the yellow color to an actual yellow Switch Lite, but the teal 8BitDo Lite matches the Switch Lite color almost exactly, so I would assume that the yellow does the same. I don't think that you have too much to worry about as far as color matching goes. Since we've got this here, let's go ahead and take a look at what comes inside of the box of the 8BitDo Lite. Here we've got the teal 8BitDo Lite. We also do have the yellow one, but right now we're going to take a look at what is in the box, and we're going to start with the teal. So let's go ahead. We can look at the packaging real quick. Right here on the front, you'll just see the controller itself there. You see it's got its nice 1, 2, 3 D-pads, so that's always fun. We've got the directional D-pad there, normal buttons there, your plus and minus buttons there, a switch that assumes will flip it from the Switch to other modes, however they have it set up for that. Your favorites button, or what I would assume is a screenshot button, and then the 8BitDo logo, which I think would be your home button in this case, and then your ZL, ZR, and LNR buttons on the top. On the back, some more stuff. It says it connects to the Switch, Steam, Windows, Raspberry Pi, notably missing here Android and Mac OS. So that is something that, oh, it's turquoise, not teal. I'm calling it teal. Also notice there is no rumble, no NFC, and no gyro included in the 8BitDo Lite controller. So let's go ahead and check out what we've got in the package here. So it's real simple, nice little small box, not a lot to it. That's always nice. We don't need this anymore. And here's our controller, all nice and packaged up here. If you can take a nice little gander at that, you can see what you've got there. We'll just pull it out real fast, set it to the side, see what they've included here. Some instructions on how to connect it to different devices. You've got how to connect it to the Switch, how to connect it to Windows, the turbo function, which is this button here is turbo. Let's see what else we got. So that's about it. So Windows is going to be obviously your Steam and also any other Windows machine. And assuming also probably Raspberry Pi there as well. So that's what you got as far as instructions go. Then they also give you a USB Type-C charging cable right here, like they do with most of their other products. And it's got also the 8BitDo logo on there as well. And there you can see how there is the USB-C charger. And here's the controller out of the box. First and foremost, these buttons and the D-pads feel absolutely incredible. Like the clickiness of the buttons is really spot on, feels really good. Nothing is mushy and gross like you tend to get with some other third-party controllers that are cheaply made. These are not cheaply made, they are affordable. There's a difference between cheaply made and affordable. These are affordable, excellent build quality controllers. Very thin, a lot thinner than I thought it was going to be, and much, much smaller than I originally thought it was going to be as well. This is the SN30 Pro Plus that, if we can compare them real fast, fits really well in my hands. I have decently oversized hands. This feels really good. But this video is not for that controller, it's for this one, and this controller is rather small in comparison. My hand just kind of swallows it up like it's not even there, but we'll test some games out and we'll see exactly how it feels playing the games that it's kind of intended for. So let's check out that real fast. Pairing your 8BitDo Lite to the Switch console itself isn't really that difficult. If you take a look here, you have a Switch. Let me focus this really fast. And you can see there's an S and an X. You want the Switch to go to the S and not the X. You want it on the S side, and then on your Switch, you want to go into the controller screen and start that bad boy up. And we want to change our grip order here, like normal, like you're connecting any controller. On the 8BitDo Lite, you'll just push the home button to turn it on, and then you'll sync button for about 2 seconds. A LED will flash, and then it'll go into pairing mode. And then we press our L and our R repeatedly until the Switch recognizes it, and there it is. So that's basically it, how you pair this controller to the Switch. Fairly simple and straightforward, much more than having certain button presses like other controllers of theirs have. This is a nice, straightforward solution. Good build quality aside, the controller is incredibly small. I do have a JoyCon here that I can compare size with. While being slightly bigger and taller, it's not really that much of a change. I have decent sized hands, and my hands swallow the JoyCon completely, and it's really no different with the 8BitDo Lite. If you have big hands, you would probably be better off with the Pro controller because it just fits in your hand a little bit better than the 8BitDo Lite, or even 8BitDo's other offering, the SN30 Pro Plus, which is also an excellent feeling controller and a step up from their original SN30 Pro. So while the 8BitDo Lite is a well-made product, I cannot recommend it if your hands are over the size of a small child, because otherwise you're going to be a little uncomfortable sitting here holding this thing trying to play the games. To keep this controller as cheap as they have, they did do away with NFC. There's no rumble and there is no gyro controlling. As you can tell here, as we try to move Luigi's Mansion up and down, there is no gyro controls here at all. But if we go out and we pair another controller to the Switch itself, then you'll be able to tell that there is in fact gyro. I don't really use gyro controls that much, so personally that's not a factor. The one that I really can't get over that much is no rumble. And I understand the Switch Lite also did away with rumble, but a controller not having it that is detached from the Nintendo Switch itself is a little disheartening. I kind of want that for games that use a rumble as a visual cue or just a cue in general for anything gameplay related. A couple examples here would be like a Mario Odyssey or a Luigi's Mansion. While sure there are visual cues and audio cues in the game itself, the main factor in alerting you is the rumble in the controller, and this not having it is a knock against it. While again being a great controller, that missing is kind of a bummer. But I do understand it because they wanted it to be really portable and very affordable. I don't want to say cheap because it's not a cheap product. It is affordable to get down to that price point. They had to do away with some things, so I understand the decisions behind it. I just don't like them. This controller, the 8BitDo Lite, cannot wake the Switch from its sleeping state, which can be said about a lot of third-party controllers. There are some that manage to do it, but this is not one of them. So if that is a deal breaker for you, then that is something to take into consideration. I personally don't mind pushing a power button on the Switch or waking the Switch up itself and then hooking up a controller, but if it's something that bothers you, that is a little factor that you would want to be aware of when checking out this controller. After using the 8BitDo Lite controllers for a while and comparing them to other controllers like the SN30 Pro Plus and even the official Nintendo Pro controller, I have to say that I don't really see much of a need for these. Unless you just want a controller that matches your fancy new Switch Lite in its color. Again, unless you got that gray one, because there's no gray option in the 8BitDo Lite. The controller itself is fairly small, and honestly, it's missing some of the key features that I would want in a detachable extra controller from the Switch itself. No NFC, no rumble, and no gyro are kind of bummers in general. No NFC and no gyro, honestly, to me, that's not that big of a deal. No rumble, though, is the massive killer. For as affordable as these controllers are, I'd say if you're interested, why not go for it? But I think if you're looking for an end-all controller for your Nintendo Switch, I don't think the 8BitDo Lite is going to be that controller. For that, you might want to look into another controller by them, the SN30 Pro Plus, that I highly recommend. It's a little bit bigger. This, not so much. Very portable, very good for 2D gaming, I will admit that. But as far as a controller for the majority of games that are coming out on Switch, the 3D platformers, the 3D RPG games, I don't think this is going to be that controller. But it is a good controller. I want to make that clear. The turquoise or teal controller, both of them are very good controllers, just maybe not what you need. Do you need 3D pads? I personally don't think so. Maybe you do, and if you do, great. This isn't a bad controller. You're not going to be disappointed, I don't think, but do be warned that some things might not meet your expectations. They might not be what you want out of this controller. They might not be what you're looking for here. 8BitDo, not a bad controller. I don't understand the point of it, but it's a good controller. So until next time, take care everyone, and I will see you all later.